So that certain Aquaman starlet has been called out, and by a makeup brand no less. And this, it absolutely wrecks their case. This is bad for that certain Aquaman starlet too, because just like Amica cream, which doesn't exist, this item here, which they said concealed everything. That's why no one knew what was going on with me. Yeah, this stuff, it didn't exist either. Now, what's interesting is if they course correct with that certain Aquaman starlet taking the stand and saying, hey, I used another brand, that means that they were paying attention to the case outside of the courtroom. And if they don't, well, everything, it falls apart. Now, making this even better is some in the media, they're salty about this too, pointing their finger at the makeup brand saying, they're trying to profit here. Why would they weigh in? This is so bizarre. I love it. You and I, we're going to talk about all of this today. Fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. So, hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. And out of all of the things that would knock this case apart for a certain Aquaman starlet, I never imagined that this right here, something so seemingly innocuous, would do it. This is the lawyer for that certain Aquaman starlet. And during their opening, they brought up quite a few things, in fact, that I thought might cause them problems. But the one thing it seems to be the problem is what they're holding in their hands, that makeup brand right there. Now, if you find yourself thinking, but that umbrella guy, maybe they meant this as a generalized comment, well, that's not what they said at all. In fact, the lawyer said this, quote, this was what she used. This, as in this product, is what she used. And then she went further. She said she became very adept at it, saying, she used this, she used it for so long, she became an expert at it. You're going to hear the testimony from that certain Aquaman starlet about how she had to mix the different colors from the different days of the bruises as they developed in different colorings, and how she would use this. So they make it very clear that she would use this to touch those up and to be able to cover those. Like I was saying before, they leaned on this so heavily, just like they leaned on another thing for excuses, a thing they called Amica cream, which doesn't exist, by the way. Arnica cream exists, but Amica cream doesn't, and they kept bringing it up for 3 days without that certain Aquaman starlet correcting it. Well, apparently it doesn't exist in the timeline they're talking about either. Now, this is where things get really interesting, by the way, because the company that puts this out, they made a video calling this idea out, saying, look at this right here. This was released in 2017. Now, the video, it's a short one, but there's a part in there that says, hey, you need to pause this to read. And I like this because, number one, they establish this right here. This is what they're talking about. You can tell that's what they're trying to point to. And they would know, by the way, because they're the ones that make it. They say the Milani color correcting and concealer palette. Take note. So the alleged accosting that went on between that certain Aquaman starlet and JD, that was around 2014 to 2016. And that's correct. Earliest stuff that they're alleging is around 2014. The last event that they're alleging, that's May 21st, 2016. With a divorce, you end up at 2016, and it's finalized in 2017. Now this, it leads to a bit of a quandary, and I love how they pull this stuff up too, because they start out walking through the headquarters itself, again telling you, we know about this stuff. Why? Because this is our life and livelihood. We actually corrected it. They walk over to a laptop. It has a bunch of different information on their products. They pull this one up, and lo and behold here, when was that product released? It was released in 2017. Now, unless that certain Aquaman starlet has a time machine here where they decided they were going to go forward in time, they were going to pick up the best concealer, then they brought it back to themselves for their relationship issues in 2014 to 2016. It seems like their opening may have given something away, something that's going to cause them real problems. Now, you would think the media, they would be overjoyed by this too. I mean, after all, the media, they're supposed to be the purveyors of truth and honesty. They're supposed to set the record straight, right? Well, Jezebel.com, they're not happy about this at all. In fact, Look at this headline here where they're trying to call out the brand for setting the record straight. A makeup brand is trying to profit off the JD and that certain Aquaman starlet case. Milani Cosmetics bizarrely weighed in on the famous couple's ongoing defamation trial on TikTok. So, they're not trying to set the record straight here. No, they're not putting out information that the public needs to know about why their brand is being mentioned. Nope, they're trying to profit off of it. That shows you what these shills for that certain Aquaman starlet, they do. And they do this all the freaking time. Now, I don't want to go through the entirety of this article, but I do want to point out some selections. Why? Because, again, these are supposed to be the purveyors of truth and honesty, but they cannot stand the idea that you would call that certain Aquaman starlet out. Why? Because they've attached their brands to listen and believe. They've attached their brands to that certain Aquaman starlet. And if that certain Aquaman starlet happens to lose this, well, they've got problems and big time. Now, you can't hear this sound on that video, by the way, because, well, content ID on here. But I want to start with this part right here. Ending with manicured finger tapping 2017, the video concludes by zooming in on the year, all while a cartoon voice sings, "There's one thing you can expect from me, and that's the unexpected. 'Cause I'm an international super spy. Then they get into their, how dare you do this? Let's make one thing abundantly clear. Brands do not have to do this. I know it's hard out there in the content minds, but wading into a trial where intimate partner, I'm just going to use the word V, is at the heart of it all is a bold and aggressive way to try to make a high-profile trial about your brand. I would even argue that brands do not have to take a side in celebrity litigation, even if they are mentioned. So, somebody brings your brand in. They bring it in with a lie. A bold-faced one at that. One that you know is a lie, too. You're not supposed to set that straight. Oh, no, because if you set that straight, you're the bad guy in this, not the person who did it. Gotcha. Not since the missing person turned murder case of Babby Pinto has TikTok turned into a place where the Find Your page is flushed with videos from a trial. TikTok is an app where the algorithm is king, but using a non-trending sound to make a 15-second clip about a libel trial, not now, Milani's social media team. Now, mark my words, they're going to try to course correct this too, and it'll be interesting to see how they do that, because if that certain Aquaman starlet does it on the stand, yeah, that's a problem, because it says that they knew what was going on outside of the court case. They were listening to things about it. Anyway, let me know what you think about it. Check out our book, too. There's a link in the description. This is our way of combating industry that allowed all of this mess to happen in the first place. Walk away from that. Walk towards something better. Help us send a message. Also, let me thank you for being here. Appreciate the heck out of you. Going to end here. Thank you. See you soon.